Well, welcome to Star Sports' latest Zoom room ahead of a massive night's racing on Saturday night, not just at Hove, but at Shelbourne Park as well. But at Hove, we've got the Regency and the Sussex Cup finals. I'm pleased to say I'm joined by Lofty, of course, who's going to take us through the betting in just a moment and be giving us some tips. And also Mark Wallis, who has 3 runners in the Sussex Cup final and 2 in the Regency, which is an incredible achievement in itself. So congratulations for that, Mark. Let's start with the Regency. And Lofty, you're going to give us a little run through the betting first of all.
Yeah, so obviously Mark with 2 in the final here. Beauchamp Bullet is actually just favourite, 11-4. We've got Blue Tick George and Colbie's Ice at 3. Mark's on the runner Aayamza Royale 7-2. Ragtime Arthur is 7, and the outsider Skillful Daisy 16-1.
So Beauchamp Bullet 11-4 in Trap 1, unbeaten in the competition so far, and also the fastest time so far, Mark. What do you think of her chances? Is she in good form? And also obviously Trap 1 for the final, does that suit?
Oh, most definitely suits Trap 1. I think whenever you've got these short run to the bends, which obviously the Hove races are over 6.95, I think it you really want to be as close to the fence as you can, and so Trap 1 is perfect. And if she could trap out like she did in the semi-final, then obviously she could boss that rails position, and that would give her the best chance of winning.
You've also got Aayamza Royale going for you in Trap 6. You seem to be able to literally control this bitch so well when she peaks, and you really bring her to her best at the right times. I know she's a smallish bitch that absolutely loves her food, so you have to be on top of that. How is she at the moment, and have you trained her any differently given the fact that she's been dropped down in trip for this competition?
Yeah, she seems to have come out the semi-final fantastic. She's in great shape. In the eating stakes, there's only one of the bitch that could match Aayamza Royale, and that's actually Beauchamp Bullet, who's just as big as a gannet as what Lydia is. So the pair of them together could destroy a whole bag of food in less than a couple of minutes, I reckon, and they'd eat more as well if they could. They do seem that type of bitches, but they're both terrific race bitches. Obviously, Beauchamp Bullet's having a terrific year. This is a 4th Category 1 final, and there's not too much else we can say about Aayamza Royale. She's just one of the greatest race bitches that's ever graced not only our kennel but the sport as well. And there was a fantastic achievement on Saturday, dropping down in trip. To run to beat 2 absolute class dogs in Blue Tick George and Kishla and Shakira. Give them a start and a beating. There's a lot more pace in the race this time. Obviously early pace and everything, so she's going to have to plot her way round, but she's well drawn in Trap 6, and I'm sure she'll give it her best anyway.
Do you do anything differently for training her over this trip as opposed to the marathons?
Well, I think one of the greatest things with Aayamza Royale is with plotting her competitions and everything. She doesn't have an awful lot of one-off races. She's not flipped at Romford every week over 750, that type of thing. So basically, we're always looking at competitions for her. Hence, she's not over raced. So, and she always seems to need a trial and a first run, and then she improves dramatically as we get to the semi-finals and finals. So, is it a great art in doing this? I'm not so sure. I just think the fact that the more she runs, the better she gets. Really suits a competition style. And yes, it's she's better at marathons than she is over 6 pens. But we was very, very unlucky not to have the St Ledger title to a CV last year. When we did drop her back to 6 pens at Perry Bar, the 7:10 there suited her tremendously, and it was only the fact that she got blocked a couple of times in running that stopped her whirlwind finish from landing that. Although credit where credit's due, Smallmead was a tremendous winner of the Ledger anyway. But yeah, she's these are 2 fantastic bitches that both given any chance to get near the front, they will do, and they'll run their hearts out for you.
Absolutely. So both gannets, and both have brilliant chances in the Regency. Talking of gannets, Lofty, Who do you fancy?
Cheeky so-and-so, Miss Collier. I actually quite like Cold as Ice. I just think this is an absolute, it's one of the best Cat 1-5s I've seen, and you couldn't rule a single dog out. If it was over 650 or 660, I think it'd be an absolute moral. He'll definitely be in front for me at some stage in the race. You watch him to the eye, he doesn't quite seem to stay to 695, but I just think obviously last week was on that, controversial going last week, and they gave it a sort of -60 or -70. Everyone said, I'll slowly go and look last week, despite the times. And I just think coming on again, he's third over the trip now. The first run, he had the real long treadage in the heat from Newcastle, and when we had a nice heat wave a couple of weeks ago. And I just thought that the prices, the draw he's got on the outsides again, he should obviously lead up Aayamza raw. If he doesn't, we're in all sorts of trouble. Skillful days he wants to rouse on the inside. And I just think he's got the plot draw. And I'll say I can definitely see him being in front at some stage. Obviously, looking he's off the last bend and his wing mirrors, seeing where 6 is. But yeah, for me, I've backed him anti-post, I must admit. So I've only got a talker from my pocket maybe there. But we also well loaded anti-post too. But no, Cold as Ice to me, but it's an absolutely blinding final. It really is. Muscular worked with Ragtime Arthur. I thought ran really well too behind Beaushine Bullet last time. Got stopped in his run about 3 or 4 times. Would have finished a lot closer. And I mean, we're a bit shorter at 7 to 1. I think he's a lot bigger elsewhere. And I've got a feeling it's the trainer's first Cat 1. I think just taken my licence over. I didn't see Teresa Dorman, who trains it now, just taken my licence over from Samantha West. So it'd be a great thing to have a Cat 1 virtually their first ever runner, I think, in a Cat 1 final.
Mark, can you pin your colours to either of your runners?
I was certainly not. I wouldn't dare do that. And I think Lofty's correct on Cold as Ice. That's a tremendous performer, and it's probably the best drawn dog apart from Beaushine Bullet in the race. But how can you not mention Blue Tick George? That's already beat Beaushine Bullet at Yarmouth. This is a tremendous competition dog, and a credit to the kennel there. To me, that's the one they all have to beat. Is Blue Tick George. It's if it traps and it does trap well from a middle box, and it bowls along in front. I think the early pace sort of Beaushine Bullet and Cold as Ice, I think they'd struggle to get past it. And I think there's only one dog that could possibly catch Blue Tick George if it led. We're hoping with Beaushine Bullet that she smashes out and, as I say, leaves that inside up. Yes, I can see Cold as Ice matching her and with a good draw, but I'd be disappointed if it did get past Beaushine Bullet, if Beaushine Bullet led. And of course, no matter how the race pans out, everybody will be watching to see where the 6 is. She would need to be within 5 or 6 lengths going down the back straight, because you can't give any more than, she couldn't give any more than that away to try and win that race. You can't come from 10 or 11 lengths off the pace. She'll need to be in a pretty good pitch come the 3rd bend, and to me, she'd have to be in sort of no worse than 3rd by the 3rd or 4th bend if she is to come from behind to win this, the Regency.
The names we're talking about are just amazing. As Lofty said, it's such a good final, the Regency. Looking forward to that on Saturday night. And also the Sussex Cup, which is, of course, the 4-bend Category 1 final at Hove on Saturday night. And Mark, you've got 3 of the field. I love the Sussex Cup. For me, it's almost second to the Derby in terms of prestige. And this year has been no different. So to have 3 of the field, what an amazing feat by you. Let's talk about Antigua Storm, first of all. He goes in trap 1 for the final. Yet to win in the competition, but I thought that was a marked improvement in the semi-final when he actually went faster than his heat on what was a slower track.
Yes, he's a lovely new dog for Amanda and Nick, and he'd got some fairly decent form in Ireland. He came over with the Derby in mind, but unfortunately had a bit of a small injury issue, and there was no way we was going to get him ready for the Derby. So we took our time with him and got him prepared, and felt like this Sussex Cup Hove would suit him. He did well. That was his debut in the heats just to qualify, and then I thought he came forward a tremendous amount and matched Drooper's Edition to the 3rd bend. Before giving way. He's one that's likely to come on again. He's a nice early pace dog. He looks like he just about sees this 5:15 out. He's got a great draw in trap 1, and if he could use that great early paces he's got, you would discount him at your peril.
Where are we at with Ivy Hill's Skyhigh, who goes in trap 3 for you in the final? Because this dog's form has been a little bit up and down. Where are you at now?
I think his form probably, didn't quite happen in the Derby for him. He was a bit unlucky in the opening heat where his Derby campaign was almost over out the traps. But realistically, both him and Drumcrow Brent have been two extremely consistent dogs all year long. That they've really flew the flag for our kennel over 4 bends. Great efforts in the Laurels. Ivy Hill Sky was just a photograph away from winning the Laurels at Perry Bar, and he's got some tremendous runs at Toaster on his card, and he's flipped between 4 and 6 bends as well. So he's a real nice versatile dog. He's not a superstar by any stretch of the imagination, but he's a really solid runner, and he's given the owners a tremendous amount of fun over for about well over a year now, and he comes into this competition with plenty of experience.
Yeah, he's so consistent for you, Ivy Hill Skyhigh. Is his best chance to lead, to try and ping out?
Well, his best chance of winning would be to lead up. He actually, trap 3 suits him down to the ground, so I can't say that box doesn't suit him, because I think it will. It's whether he can really smash out and clear the inside runners. I think he might have a job to do that with Antigua Storm on the inside, but he's a dog, although he stays further, he actually likes to bowl along in front, so his best chance would be is the best break he can possibly do, and then lead up and try and cut the 2 inside ones off. And once he grabs the rails, if he was in front, he'd be really hard to beat.
Drumcrow Brent is in trap 5 for you. Now, he does seem to be holding his form really well. Of course, ran so well at Toaster and has come to Hove and done the same. Again, is it about showing a nice bit of early for him? And is he your best chance of a winner in the Sussex Cup?
Yeah, well, it was fantastic, Julie, how the semi-finals panned out, really, because obviously we all the connections of the finals probably feel slightly lucky that the three anti-post favourites were all drawn together and all came together, and unfortunately they didn't do themselves any favours, and the Bocco's Belly and Roxham Shake and Tempin, that they were the ones to beat in the competition, but unfortunately it didn't happen from the semi-final. So it's given some other dogs like Drumcrow Brent an excellent opportunity of this is his first major final. Although he's been around again, like Ivy Hill Sky, and been very consistent. Very, very good open race dog, but it needs to just sort of progress slightly more if he's going to be a Category 1 winner. But he's getting better with age, and he's maturing nicely. He's got a lovely bit of early pace, and although he's seen as an out-and-out wide runner, I actually think trap 5 suits him better than trap 6, because I think again, if he is going to win, he needs to beat trap 6 to the bend. Who if that did lead him up, he'd be in trouble himself, right? But I think trap 5 really suits him well, and he's shown great form at Hove. He was the best dog that we had in the Derby, went the furthest for us. He's really seems to have peaked at the right time, and I think he holds an excellent chance of winning this competition.
He's like me, he loves the nicer weather, Lofty. Drumcrow Brent, well, all of them. Let's go through the betting for the Sussex Cup and tell us your selection and also your favourite of Mark's 3.
So we've got Jupiter Edition's favourite 8 to 11. We're a little bit short on some of them, but he's a standout favourite. Not put a ball wrong so far. With 5 Ivy Hill Skyline, Drumcrow Brent, Mark's 2, 6 Troy Firebird, 9 Antigua Storm, and 20 Pilgrim Hill. Again, I just think if they were drawn the other way round, I think if Antigua Storm was drawn the other side of Jupiter Edition, I think Jupiter Edition would be an absolute moral. But as Mark said, showed a nice bit of early speed last time and went to the corner. I know he got done by the third bend, but a lot of dogs here are very similar. They're all quite strong running dogs. They always have been over 5.75 at Romford, most of them. Even Troy Firebird, a bit he didn't stay to 5.75, but see him come back and win his semi-final. Looked a shadow of a dog he was really in the Derby semi-final. Got the Derby semi-final last year at Nottingham. Looked a shadow of a dog really since then, but popped back and won the heat the other night. I just think Jupiter Edition, I just think, it's a silly selection really being an odds-on shot, not being too clever, but it's the most likely to be one at the second bend. So with a lot of strong running dogs, and I think whatever's in front of the second bends, it will probably win. But you know, quite a few of these do get the trip, as you say. Antigua Storm's a nice dog, I think, for the future, which had a nice bit of early pace last time. Might be a nice run for dog, I think, if Mark ever brings it back when they're sort of 400s. I'm not sure what Mark's got the plans for him. Even Pilgrim Hill, look, a 20 to 1 chance of Kevin Hutton's. I mean, he was a good 600-yard dog in Ireland, and you know, strong and a strong runner, and you know, he could be the flying maybe at a big price. But no, Jupiter's Edition for me, being boring, tipping up the favourite. But there we go. Got to do it once in a while, Jules.
I have to say though, Mark, for you, 3 in the final, you must be thrilled.
Yeah, it's a fantastic achievement. You know, as I say, we did get a bit lucky with the draws and the way the semi-finals panned out. There's no doubt about that. But you know, over the course of a year, we get plenty of bad luck with bad draws and such like. So you know, it does even itself out over time. And you know, it's an event we've never won before, the Sussex Cup, and you know, we've certainly got a 50% chance. I feel like that we could get what you know, we could win this, but it's not going to be easy. To say, Troopers Edition is a fantastic dog who really loves Hove. I actually think the key to the race is what Antigua Storm does. If he could fly up to the bend, you know, I don't think Troopers Edition is as good, you know, if it's not leading up, sort of thing, you know. So if Antigua Storm could lead Troopers Edition up, it actually might open the doors to all the others as well. Like, so it's a fascinating race, and you know, we're going to enjoy the night, and hopefully if we could have a bit of luck, then you know, yes, we could actually win a Sussex Cup for a change.
Absolutely. And Lofty, you know, I love to put you on the spot. I've just thought of this one. What price on Mark Wallis Category 1 double?
Oh, well, you've got to work out. Oh, you're trying. It's too early, George. The maths working out. What is it? 7 to 2, and so it's 7 to 2 roughly, and it's about evens. He'll win the one race, and then probably about evens the other. So it's about a 3 to 1 chance, isn't it? Evens.
Oh, that's rubbish.
Top of my head, but it's probably about right though. If it take 5, 5, and 9, what's that? 30. That's about even money. He wins Sussex Cup, and it's about the same price he wins the other race for the 2. So no, it's right. My mathematical brain worked there, Miss Collier, for a change. Don't know what happened. Must only wheat bits this morning.
Not impressed with 3 to 1, Mark. I mean, it's a big ask.
Yeah, I don't see that myself. You know, I mean, we take one now with both hands. You know, if you just win one of them, you know. But the key to it is these are real nice dogs, and there's, especially with the likes of Beauchamp Bullet and Antigua Storm, they're the kind of dogs that are coming forward, and they're still young and relatively inexperienced. You know, they're the dogs of the future for our kennel. And I think the consistency of Drumcrow, Brent and IVL Sky has been rewarded. And we have the superstar in Aayamza Royale, and she would lift the roof off of Hove Stadium if she was to power home off the last bend. She absolutely loves Hove, and there's not too much more you can say about such a great bitch as Aayamza Royale, you know. And she's in tremendous form, and hopefully she can you know, do herself justice in this Regency final.
Well, Mark, whilst you're fully focused on Hove, there is, of course, a big race over the water as well, and a big clue for the Irish Derby, potentially, Lofty. The Champion Stakes final, a nice prize pot for that one, and some big names in action. Go through the betting, but it's actually surprised me a little bit how short the favourite is, given the dogs that are in the final.
Yeah, 8 to 11, Deadly Destroyer. I think we were top price at 6 Ballymac Wild, with 12 The Machine and Clara Icon, 9 to 2 Priceless Jet, 7 Beach Avenue. Look, I think with Deadly Destroyer, you know, the Irish boys probably know more than what I would about this, but he would have the freedom of D4 here, because you know, Ballymac Wild does go middle. He's slow away as well. He's been, you know, pinging out the boxes in his last 3 starts. He's been doing 29.40s for fun around Shelbourne, which is a good one over the 550 around there. And I just think in a race with a lot of slow starters, he'll go in the bend in front, and you know, something's got to do 29.40 behind him to beat him. I mean, you look at the rest, The Machine, you know, the Kirby runner up, but he's like 1 from 18. He's won 1. He won his first ever race at Shelbourne. He's not won a race since then. Is he a nearly dog? I mean, yeah, he proved that in the Derby. A couple of runs he did run well in the Derby. Obviously, we know a few of these from the English Derby. Beach Avenue, I don't think Toast is suited Beach Avenue at all. I think one of those 2, Beach Avenue, the 2 Hennessy dogs, will be the ones to chase them home. You know, both strong runners. Priceless Jet was very impressive in the Conquer Challenge over the 680 round there, and you know, kept up the gallop really well. But they've got to, you know, dogs have got to do 29.40 off the back here to beat something like Deadly Destroyer. We'll mention Collier, of course, who was an Irish Derby finalist last year, came over here, lost his way completely over here, but he's gone back now to Rocklease and back over in Ireland. Broke 21 seconds for the sprint at Dundalk, which is some fantastic run. And, you know, he's certainly a dog who seems to love the water over Ireland, certainly when he does come over in the UK. And I think he could outrun his price as well. But look, Deadly Destroyer, it's a cracking good race and a real good, you know, yardstick for the Irish Derby coming up. We look forward to. I'm sure we'll get our anti-post prices up for that and do our money like we always do in Irish races, but we do enjoy it anyway. And we were just talking about maybe going to Shelbourne, but I don't think we'll be allowed to do that this year. So we watched it from afar, I dare say again, but we look forward to it when it comes up in September. You know, it's a tremendous contest as well, the Irish Derby, and we love it nearly as much as the English Derby.
Yeah, absolutely. Mark, no pressure for you with this tip. What do you fancy for that race at Shelbourne on Saturday? Have you had a look at it?
Yes, most certainly. It's a tremendous final, and you know, you could very well see most of these dogs in the latter stages of the actual Derby itself. Of course, you know, get on well with all the Irish trainers well in this race, but particularly you know, Damien Matthews and Cal Ramsbottom, they're good friends to our kennel, and we've had dogs off of them before. And you know, I'd be really rooting for their two dogs to do well and wish them the best of luck. Me personally, I think Deadly Destroyer looks an absolute machine, you know, with that early pace, and I think that could win the race on the day. But it certainly won't be easy for them. But it's a tremendous final.
It really is. So 3 massive finals on Saturday night, all in all. Mark, best of luck at Hove. We'll be rooting for you. And thank you for joining us and talking us through all your runners. And also to you, Lofty, get yourself to Goodwood. Looking very smart there.
Thank you, pleasure. I do a top button up till I bend the tie later on when I get up there. Yeah, no problem.
Thanks for your time, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. And good luck.
Pleasure. Thank you, Jules.